Thank you for your patience. Today again, another technical glitch which I least expected, but it's valid here. So I'm very sorry again. And I'll make sure I will fix this up. Thank you so much for your patience and waiting because time is so important. Well, we will be sharing these topics today, how to reach the peak of devotion to Shiva. Can everyone merge and mingle in his universal consciousness? Shiva in his cosmic light form, Bindu. Shiva in his sound form, Nada. Can everyone enter into his light and sound form? This topic, which we are going to cover, mainly will be focused on devotion. What is devotion? The depth of devotion. Before I start doing these titles here, just give a very short synopsis on yesterday that we have been seeing four muhurtas of Shiva, four different forms of Shiva, which is Somaskandar, Dakshinamurti, Lingodbhavar, Chandrasekhar. These are the expressions of Shiva which is descending to Mother Earth on this great day called Maha Shiva Rathri. So this empowerment of his primordial state of his cosmic light is the one which is celebrated in each of his muhurta. So what is Mahashivaratri is to be absorbed into this oneness of Shiva, into the primordial state. That's what we have been seeing yesterday. And we also seen what is Shiva or who is Shiva. And we have seen the entire creation is intelligently put together. The body, the mind, senses, the external world, this sprawling universe with the expanded multi-universe spreading, all intelligently put together. There seems to be an intelligent in and through everything here. That's what we have been seeing, descending Shiva's cosmic power into the human body, Earth. Now we have to see this. What is devotion? When we go step by step, we have to step into Shiva automatically when you understand devotion. So I've got this very beautiful ancient story. Sometimes stories are very powerful, how our saints live their life. One of this is Kannappar, one of the greatest Shiva devotee called Kannappar, Kannappa Nayanar. Actually, from this Kannappa Nayanar is a great devotee of Shiva, is actually the rebirth of Arjuna that I wanted to explain that since we are running out of time. And actually, Kannappar is Arjuna himself taken another birth to be enlightened given by Shiva. So he have taken this birth. So Kannappar is actually a hunter and he hunts for food. So once he went up to a jungle for hunting and he passed by a Shivalinga. When he saw the Shivalinga, he felt that a full load of him, everything went out of him, and he felt so pure. And since this purity that he felt came from the Shiva, he fell in love with him. So he went for hunting, brought back all the animals which he killed for his hunting, even swine, served to Shiva. And he brings the water from the river by swallowing the water and start spraying on Shivalinga because he want to hold water and give it to him. And the flowers he'll pick and put on his hair, then he start decorating Shiva. So when this kind of intense bhakti was given here, Shiva made an earthquake for this temple to drop, and he was holding to the Shivalinga, and then the temple was collapsing. He was still holding on to Shivalinga. But there was a priest in the temple was very, very angry about the whole situation where this kind of dead animals have to be served to Shiva. And he said, Shiva, I'm so sorry. What is happening in this temple? Can you please do something, get rid of this person? And he told, Shiva went to the priest's dream and said, next day morning, you come early. I will teach you why this thing is happening. So there again, Kannapar was serving food, all these animals serving to him, his own way of spraying water on the Shivalinga, because he need to be sprayed. Therefore, he did this. Then the Shivalinga, one of the Shivalinga eye was dripping blood. And he immediately took his eye out and placed it there. This story everybody knows. Then the other eye was hanging, and he again pierced the other eyes and placed it there by using his feet to step on the Shivalinga and did all this thing. And he went into the soul of the priest and asked, do you think you have this degree of devotion? And he was shocked. Devotion is the same, but are degrees of devotion. That's what it is, degrees of devotion. The unconditional, I love you so much, I will do anything for you. That mode of surrender. He doesn't know good or bad. He is a hunter. He hunts, and that's the prasad given to him. How he is in commune with the divine is his own soul language. And that soul language is what we call devotion. Total devotion. There's no conditions. Shiva is unconditional. Let us not give any conditions to him. If it's unconditional, you have to be unconditional to absorb the unconditional. So there are different degrees of devotion. There's one, Pusara Nayanar. This is another interesting. Pusara Nayanar wanted to erect one huge Shiva temple. These are all connected. Please listen to me, because we are going into a subject matter which these degrees of devotion has to be understood through stories. So Pusara Nayanar wanted to erect a huge temple. This is very important. So, but he's a poor man, super poor man, but a big heart, wanted to erect a huge temple for Shiva. Then he has no money. What he did, he went to the Shilpa Shastra. There's an architect methodology in order to construct the Indian temple. There is a methodology there. He went, studied, and he started erecting this temple in his Hridaya Kamala, inside his heart. Little by little, brick by brick, installed it, curved it, which date is where it's supposed to be. And he completed the entire temple in 3 years by meditating over the temple. And he also fixed a date for the consecration ceremony. And he prayed that this day will be the consecration ceremony. And at the same time, there was this Pallava king. This actually happened. A Pallava king erected a massive temple of Shiva. It is still here in Tamil Nadu. On the same consecration date, Muhurta date, same consecration date for both temples. Shiva went into the dreams of that king and said, you please change the consecration date. I have to attend another massive temple, which is built by another Bhakta. I have to attend that at that time. So you change your date. And he heard about this, that there's another temple at this place, better than mine. Let me go and see. He went to see at that place. There was no temple. There was one man under the tree, and he asked, have you heard about this Hridayarishwarar temple? Hridayarishwarar temple. He said, yes, I'm the one who's building it. Where is the temple? And he said, it's in my heart. I built the entire temple in my heart. You know what's the king? This is the catch. Huh? You know what the king said? I also have erected one. But Shiva wanted to come to your consecration ceremony. And can you please bless me? Give me the entire architect. Let me erect the entire temple for you. There you go. And he erected the entire temple for that devotee who actually built the temple in his consciousness, in his heart, with his love, with his devotion. The beauty part of this storyline is as much as he went into it and built, and he got the satisfaction that he have consecrated a Shiva temple, the power of his desire to construct it have made all arrangements for the king to come to him and materialize his wish to a three-dimensional reality, an actual temple. Are you catching this thing? If you sincerely surrender to him, and whatever the very refined wishes you have will be materialized by him. That's the power of Shiva when you go into one-pointedness bhakti devotion with him. I hope you are catching the nuances of it. He materialized a temple with his power of devotion, which was so focused, and it took time, space, continuum, a shape, a materialized temple outside. What it teaches us is something very important. Oh, if I go into Shiva, everything will be lost. Who will take care of my family? Who will take care of my business? Who will take care of this thing? You think Shiva's job is to make you knock out of all your possession? You think that's the purpose he gave this creation for? Let us think a little bit deeply. But when you anchor yourself and place your intentions, if there's some problems also, if you place it there, definitely the light will come, will fix things up for you. But how is the degree of your surrender? We have to ask that for ourselves. Is that going to be a surrender to a thing outside by placing some flower? There's also quality in that. I'm not telling, there's a degree of differentiation. So the Pallava king materialized this. Then goes Markandeya also. There came another Siddha master, which is Tirumular. He said this. Tirumular, who's from Kailasha, has to come to South India by the order of Agastya. They were all together, the 18 Siddhas all together, but Agastya said, you go to this south. There is a place in the South India, I'll tell you. You go there, there seems to be extreme energy, which seems to be just absorbing cosmic Shakti down there. Please go and find this out. So Tirumular came to South, and that is where the rest of him taking into another form happened. And he went there. He went into that space, that place. There, Divine Mother, Shakti, was worshipping Shiva in a posture, Vrikshasana, a tree posture, where the hands comes together above the head. Adipadi Kaitola, so above the head with the right feet and the left feet blocked here. She went for a Vrikshasana. And she focused all the way, sending the body, mind, senses, even the heartbeat, even the breathing, everything surrendered to Shiva. And she was in a total tapas, absorption into Shiva. This she did for the devotion which she had for Shiva. Are you seeing the degree of the devotion? So according to the degree of the devotion, you absorb that power for ourselves. It is not that it doesn't want to give you. It has to be aligned with the Supreme Consciousness. And what is devotion? See what Manika Vasagar. So, எண்ணுதற்கு எட்டா எழிலார் கடலிறைஞ்சி விண்ணிறைந்து மண்ணிறைந்து மிக்காய் விலங்கோலியாய். That which is expanding, above, expanding, extending, and in and through the earth sphere, he is responding as a golden light in and through everywhere. And this is Shiva, which is the cosmic, not only the intelligence, the entire creation is his vibration. And in this vibration alone, with this fact alone, with this, when you unite yourself, when I say you are everything, I am everywhere, Shiva everything, aren't you also part of it? If Shiva is everywhere and I am here, I am also part of it. Since I am part of it, I have to realize this truth that I am Shiva, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. When you align yourself to this single pointedness, what happens is the devotee drops. Because the devotee now knows that he is divine. So, upon getting into this truth that Aham Brahmasmi, so what is the state of devotion now? All saints have been telling that we are Tat Tvam Asi. Aham Brahmasmi. Ayam Atma Brahma Shivoham. So this, we have to come to a particular fact here. What is the particular fact? What is our belief pattern here? What is our belief system here? When we fix this up, then only we could be able to apply what we're supposed to apply. So what is devotion? Then you have to know, what are you devoted to? Yeah, there's duality here, the devotee and the thing which I'm devoted to. Therefore, you have to know what you are devoting to. So if you are saying that you are devoting to Shiva, then we have to somehow define the thing. What is Shiva? We have to define it. We cannot say, I just believe. What is the thing? What is the connection between this Jiva, me, myself, the Jagat, the world, and Ishvara? What is the connection between us? How did I came into being? And this is the thing. The end product, they say, you are Tattvamasi, you are that. And this basis is from which we have to function in world. This basis, we have to remove the ignorance, come to the realization that every part of me, every force which is working within me, it is all Shiva Shakti. Can we dispute that? But, well, the skeptic will be always there to argue about this thing. Well, let us not go into the argument because it is a fact. This intelligently put together creation must have the intelligence in and through the creation. The lights in our eyes, the very capacity to think, the faculty to think, the faculty to hear, the energy to utter and a sound, it's all happening by itself. You are not doing. It is there already. Therefore, the intelligence is within me working. I am not separate from the intelligence, neither I can stand apart or stand separate. I have to be the same source in and through. We have to fix this belief first. Have you fixed that? Have you fixed a goal that this is what I am devoted to? Then you see your degree of devotion, what happens. Also, you'll be attracted to some idea about some gods and goddesses. I would like to tell this Vaishnava Bhakti, this Vaishnava. This Vainava Bhakti is supreme. You know why? They pray to Krishna or Vishnu. Oh, Vishnu, please give me some problems, Vishnu. True. You know why? If you don't give me problem, I won't call for you. If I'm in a happy mode, I won't pray. But if you give me problem, at least I have a chance to call for you and I can bless myself. And that conviction, when I'm in problem and I'm still holding on to you, give me so much peace. Although the problem is there, give me problem. This is a challenge to God. The whole world is asking, please give me, bless this, bless that, bless this, bless that. And there is a devotee asking, give me a problem, because in which I can call for you. Another degree of devotion. The degree of devotion is extreme, extreme, extreme. It keeps on going. And coming to this realization that I am you, how can I actually show my devotion? The best way is I drop out. I drop out because none of this is mine. I thought about it. I meditate upon it. I did everything, but I see that I'm nowhere. I am nothing. That becomes devotion. Because there is a higher power which is doing all this thing. Who am I, a small, tiny, little fellow? I devote that everything is yours, and I surrender, and I put my focus within that life force, which we call Shiva Mahaprana within, and you dissolve into that. That becomes the highest devotion, where you become Shiva. And who gives you the power of devotion? Devotion is not something which you can practice. It is not something how much you give to God. It is a different language altogether. You can even fight with him. You can love him. You can make love with him. You can be a friend. Arjuna was with Krishna until he gave a Vishwarupa Darshana. Arjuna, when he came to know that he had even stepped and kicked him, he was so pain for him when he realized this truth, that he both fought together, but he's God. So what was the relationship? How did he felt that point of time? I'm sure every one of us here who's listening to this had this fantastic moment of communicating with divine and absorbing and going through your tears out. You have no reason why it happened. It is a degree of devotion. It goes to a maximum point, even to a point it becomes sorrow, divine sorrow. When am I going to be absorbed by him? So this devotion is very powerful. And there is a song. So there's a song from Thirumandiram, verse number 1573. If you have a book, you can refer to that. Here comes the expression of devotion. The title is The Holy Guru is God Himself. Who is our true Guru? Shiva Himself is our true Guru. No one can dispute this. At this very moment, whatever you have eaten is going on a digestive system already. Part of thing will be cleared off, and part of thing will be blood, and part of thing will be tissues, organs, everything. Somebody is managing it. Same time, a small, tiny little ant back in Kailasa, one small, tiny little ant also getting his food, doing the digestive system. You go sprawling, you see, wow, who is managing all this thing? That very source. How to learn about him? How to study him? Can any books completely write about him? It's some impossible thing to learn about Shiva. The only thing we can do, surrender to him. In that surrender, and the best way to surrender is, death, when your prana goes and doesn't come back, gone, right? So our life force is our prana, right? Without which we will die. That very life force, just focus on that life force and surrender to it. We'll talk about this in another few more other lectures. But to learn about Shiva, to absorb into him, so that he gives the highest teachings, direct tutelage from Shiva himself, then we have to do something. It's dissolving into him by dropping our ignorance. But here, the ignorance in time, not realizing what is ignorance, not realizing that Aham Brahmasmi, not realizing that every part of me is Shiva Shakti. That is what ignorance is. You need to study a little bit, go into science a little bit, go into quantum a little bit, metaphysics a little bit, and start thinking. Use your thinking faculty, and you start worshiping within. You will come to this fact. Anybody can come to this fact. It's not only saints do it. It's a human language. It's part of us. When you start contemplating further within with many scientific facts and use that, and you see that you will be absorbed into. So he taught me the meekness of spirit. Not I. I cannot learn it by myself. He gives. Infuse in me the light of devotion. He is the one who gives you devotion. It's not you are devoted to Shiva. He is the one, place that nice little feeling as emotions in you, come to me. Come to me means within him, that granted me the grace of his feet, and after interrogation holy, testing me entire. This is what it is. Granted me the grace of feet. His Shiva Maha Prana entered into my body, mind, senses. When it happened, and after interrogation wholly, testing me entire, where? Testing the devotion. Will you be always aligned? It is not that God is asking for you, please pray to me, as though he needs us. Actually, he don't need us. So it is not that God is up there, he wants some more members for him. It's not that. If you align, my golden light will remove lots of whatever that is not Shiva in you. Whatever not Shiva in you, I can remove it. Just allow that to happen. Allowing him to vibrate in you is what we call devotion. And he tests you and reveals to you the real, the unreal, and real unreal of a certain is Shiva Guru, Lord himself. So in a deep state of absorbing into his consciousness, where you become the witness. You see? Now just try this out. Just close your eyes and see who is watching the thought which is passing by. Watch your thought. Be the witness of a thought. Close your eyes, watch any thought, and ask who is watching. And if you are watching a thought, what is the light within which is responding a thought? Ask. You're seeing a thought. If you see something, it means there must be a light. And how? Who is watching and what is the light? And you will know which is real and which is unreal. The witness is always there, watching everything, but not being touched by it. This become the oneness with Shiva. The real, unreal. Who is teaching this to you? Your own Shiva soul teaching which is which, what is what, who you are, what I am. Everything is revealed, just by watching it. And who is revealing it? Our Maha Guru, Namah Shivaya. He reveals everything. And that is where, to awaken you, picks up some of your past karma and lift you up there. You awaken to it, then you allow him, nothing stands in you which is not Shiva. And that's the Holy Guru. And this is highest devotion where you get absorbed into him. So again, grace is granted according to degree of devotion. Verse 2431. In the thoughts of those who hold him steadfast, firm he stood, his feet planted, he the Lord celestial. Those who thought not of him he shunned, to teach according to his devotion, he his grace grants. We are going to touch the topic of Nada Bindu. I still hope I have some time. So to each according to his devotion, he his grace grants. In Siddha Marga, we use one of the most powerful technique, which we are going to use on Maha Shiva Rathri Day. And I'm going to explain it further. The secret is asking certain question at certain time. My inhalation and exhalation, which I am not doing. If I am not doing, but it is happening, therefore, there is a being within which is working within itself to do this momentum of inhalation and exhalation. Since that being which is invisible, but intuitively truth, insightly truth, soulfully truth, because you are experiencing it. So that thing which is invisible, which is doing all these formations, and that is why if you go into the depth of the studies of what Shiva is, then it becomes Satya Chitta Ananda, which we will see. That Sat Chit Ananda, which is within this intelligence working within me, and you place your consciousness there, and that becomes this Thiru Adi. Thiru means divine. Adi in Tamil means life force, prana. So Thiru Adi is actually his Shiva Mahaprana. Where Shiva Mahaprana in a human body is by the spine and at the midbrain, exactly at the midbrain. Shiva Mahaprana is always there. So when you start focusing on your life force, surrendering to your life force, there he stood in you, because our life force is Shiva Mahaprana. The more you focus, this Mahaprana actually get crystallizes. And that is where the spine get erected. And you yourself will go on a meditative posture, because you are focusing on the very life force within this human body. Is actually by the spine and the head. So according to your devotion to me, with your one-pointed focus, nothing is important, aligning myself into your soul, Shiva, I am not doing anything. Summa irukum shugam. Just focus on you. According to that devotion, he blesses you. So this kind of devotion, you becoming him. You saw the different degrees of devotion. Are you seeing it? So, and here comes the most blessed teachings in the Tirumandir. Verse 2560 needs so much of gratitude to receive this. There's nothing more than this if you want to work, to melt into Shiva. God responds to devotion into my thoughts. He comes and goes. You understand what is that? In the constancy of my thought, I held him as God. புறப்பட்டு போகும் புகுதுமன் நெஞ்சில் திறப்பட்ட சிந்தையை தெய்வமென்றெண்ணி. I held him as God, you my holy Lord. Thus I besought him. You see, what is the greatest devotion? Everyone, all meditators complain about this statement to every of their guru. Swami, so much thoughts, I cannot meditate. Thoughts over thoughts over thoughts. You know what Tirumoolar said? You think Tirumoolar have no thoughts? All thoughts is Shiva's movement. Thank you. I love all thoughts. Wow. In the constancy of my thought, I held him as God, you, my holy Lord. Thus I besought him, and in my heart I held him close. What is there? He asked. What is it? You become him. All thoughts is his thought. There can never be a better devotion because you embrace everything. What you say, you have to act. If everything is Shiva, that thought is also Shiva. Why am I escaping from the thought? Everything is Shiva. Melting, I hope you're catching me, the nuances of meditation, dhyana, must be autonomic, Dhyana cannot be practiced here. Even some mudras also cannot be practiced. I challenge you. Sambhavi mudra cannot be practiced. The more you practice, of course, people are practicing, well, from the Siddha standpoint. Sambhavi is the ultimate, yeah? Sambhavi is where both eyes goes up. This is devotion. I'm talking about a chapter called devotion, yeah? Goes up. Along it goes up due to the pull, the optical nerve pull. This eyes have two optical nerve, and this two optical nerve will conjoin itself to a single nerve, which is directly touches the pituitary, and from there it extends to the pineal. This is what the eyes power are. So when it goes upward, it actually pulls both these super glands upwards. But there must be something else is needed to be done down there. That becomes a pull when the tongue get elongated. A cautery happens to the just below the midbrain. There a brush happens. When this happens, your kundalini rises. It goes above the head, get connected. This is yogic. But how do I practice? How much it should be going in? All depends on what. Put Shiva above your head. Concentrate on your Shiva. The rest of them will be pulled over to him. This is the Siddha technique. We won't do this way, but we put Shiva down there. That attracting power, that pulling power of his, which brings, and that can be attained through devotion and not as a practice. You understanding what I'm talking about? You can practice devotion, You hold him high. Oh, understanding what is Shiva. Andamum niye, vindum niye, mandum niye, everything you are, including me, everything, creation. I have the power to think about you, to define you, and to hold you up there, which you have given me the power as devotion. And I'm going to concentrate on this devotion, see how the absorption happens. Becoming him. And that's the teaching here. Very powerful teaching. Every thought passes is his. Who am I to deny or to hold? You understand? Who am I to deny and hold? There must be a reason for it to pass by here. Om Namah Shivaya. Every thought. Om Namah Shivaya. Every thought. Namah Shivaya. Infused. So, there's another one more. Where is the peerless pearl? Well, may denizens of seven worlds. Yesterday we saw the seven worlds, seven up. Bhur, Bhuva, Shiva, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. These are the seven worlds which has higher beings, higher world, higher information, the dark energy, dark matter, everything is up there. All entire try, they cannot know him. So all these higher beings of this all seven worlds wanted to try him. You cannot see him unless he will to see you. That is why the guru looks for the disciple, not the disciple look for the guru. This is truth, sir. This is truth means truth. Shiva will look for that fellow, because he will plant. Because we have to see, Satchit Ananda, the Ananda Pata, which is love. There's a love, according to Tirumula, there must be a lover. If there is a lover, there must be a beloved also. So since Shiva is the lover, he must have a beloved for him to show his love. Therefore, I am the beloved, which is running through his love because he's the lover. If you connect Shiva as the lover and seeing a being which is part of you, and you start connecting, that is the pearl which you are holding within you. Who can say where Lord is? And he will say, this is Lord. In devotion of his devotees, who dare say where the peerless pearl is. So this kind of devotion, where you merge into him and he gives all of him into you. Because unconditionally, if his condition is a different thing, you will connect it. Then when things are okay, then you need not do your devotion. Human category. When there's a problem, they go to Lord. When the problem is settled, they settle down also. Waiting for the next cycle, they go. So it becomes kind of a barter trading that most of us do. You do this to me, I'll give you a flower. It's okay. You can go to God, keep on asking, and God will also give because he's a giver, you see. But how long are we going to do these petty things as a barter trading? God is your problem solver. But how is that source which is daily cleaning your body, removing the waste from the body, taking the best particles from any food as an energy and throwing away the rest of the thing for you to see the eyes has light, everything given to you. You don't want to realize this part of it, but only interested about the barter trading. And we said that we have grown bodily, mentally, or by dharma. Maybe we should think, where is my stand, my present state of devotion? Devotion is a difficult topic, sir. It's a difficult topic. You cannot say yes or no to it. This is Tiruvannamalai, 14 kilometers walk, right? If you are a seasoned walker, you can go for a 2.5 hours, or some do it 2 hours also. Some do it 6 hours also. I have a friend who did 1 day, whole day. There's few. There was one lady also, and I've seen more than 6 of them who go for Anga Prajishthana, They roll their body 14 kilometers on the tar road in Tirunelveli. 14 kilometers just by the body. That's devotion, sir. Don't mess with his devotion, sir. That's devotion. Can you laugh at him? Oh, this fella doesn't know Tattvamasi. He's doing this. That's devotion also. But just because he is doing it, you want to do it, that's not devotion. You understand? Many of them used to say, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa eat fish. Therefore, I also eat fish. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa can call Kali and take food and feed her on her face, on her mouth. Eat, Amma. You sit down with me. This Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. But this fellow will only pick that habit of his fish eating, but ask him to call Kali, the fellow cannot do. You must know to whom, Then Appa Ramakrishna went to the kitchen, his wife, lovely one, asked him, Baba, you are the teacher for the entire village and they are coming and praying to you like a god. But every time you come to the kitchen, ask for fish, What is happening, Baba? Shiva has given me a job that I have to be here to spread him into Mother Earth. It is very difficult for me to hold my human body here. It's very difficult for me. I just want to absorb into him. All saints are like that, It's so difficult. To anchor myself, I take this habit, at least by eating this, my karma will be still pulling me downward so that I can do the job. Another state of devotion, this is a high level of devotion. There can be lots of arguments which what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about vegetarianism, non-vegetarianism. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the depth of a devotion to the Lord in their own home language. It can be vulgar also. Who cares? Just go for it. It was your devotion, It's my father which I want to fight, which I'm demanding with. It all differs from people to people. Sadhu's taking samadhi. Just go into a pit and take it out. You want to name him how you want to name him, but extreme devotion. So the very purpose is this. Jiva's task is to seek him. Receiving in full the grace of Lord is mukti state. Purified of tattvas. So 2633. Purified of tattvas, the Suddha state attaining to perform tapas, thus in Jiva task. The word tapas, the word tattva, big word, Swami. What is all this thing? Don't worry about all these things. The simplicity is tapas means one-pointed focus. The tattvas are what? The elemental body, This body is elemental body, which is made up of the 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, mix, combine into gas, air, earth, different element, mix, combine. This is all an elemental state. And it's 3 dimension. And since this is perceivable, this 3 dimension, I can touch, I can feel, I can smell. This 3 dimension, I take this 3 dimension is as the only thing in this creation. But when you go to a master and he start teaching you of all this truth of the space, air, fire, water element, which has made the body as a 3 dimension, if you enter and play around with this space, air, fire, water element, which has a sound within that as na, ma, si, va, ya, na, earth, ma, water element, si, heat element, fire element, Va, air element, Ya, space element. And if you work with Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namah Om, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namah Om, in each chakra, these elements get purified. This is where your body consciousness get cut and absorbed into him. This is why mantras are being used. This is why focus are being used. So that your soul consciousness go for a Buddha Shuddhi, the human body Shuddhi. Upon this Shuddhi, you will see your devotion takes into another degree, another level. All have to be done within by totally devoting to the life force. That's who you are. So in seeking, be not discouraged by initial failures. Now let us see this thing. What is that source when you close your eyes and watch a thought? Where is the light which is lighting up a thought? Ask this question to yourself and meditate over it tonight. You watching a thought. You have closed your eyes, watching a thought. If you're watching something, there must be light, or else there's darkness. You can't see anything, but you have a thought you are seeing. Therefore, there must be a light, and there must be a witness consciousness watching it. So this witness consciousness has to be intelligent because it knows there is a thought. If there's no thought, it also knows there is no thought. He knows and he doesn't know. This is a little bit tricky, but this is a truth. It's not you watching. Your consciousness as such, which is intelligence within it, is Shiva watching a thought. And a thought is in a movement, and all movement has to take place from within. That movement is also his movement called Shakti. Both together intertwine within you as consciousness. But where are you going to place this awareness at is a question here. If you want to place your awareness to the outside world, this awareness gets limited because it's materializing itself to the outside world. It's getting limited. The light gets dims because it has to act into 3 dimensions. But when you focus and contemplating, meditating upon what is this light which is shining and me witnessing it, the more you focus on it, there itself merge to light particles. This is truth. This is yogic truth. Anyone can go into it. And how to absorb into it? There is a thing. Blessing of the 5-lettered mantra of Shiva's feet and form. Verse number 2706. When karma's miseries harass you, chant the 5-letter mantra of Nandi pervasive. If you thus seek him, he the grace of his holy feet confers. Your devotion shall lead you to Shiva's form. And what is Shiva's form? That very light which is making you conscious of will keep on brightening itself, because the elemental state will start dropping by itself. Energy converts into light. What happens when you start focusing on something? In this case, let us focus on the very source which is inhaling and exhaling. And when you focus on that, keep on focusing, there creates a kinetic energy. You start generating energy. The more you focus on that generated energy get crystallized, and the crystallization will transform into light. And the light is coming from within you, and that is your soul, and that is Shiva. Who can achieve this? Anyone who has a body, a human body, who has a powerful tool called devotion, that I am not different from him, they convert to light, because they are made out of light, because you are conscious, you are intelligence, both is light. Lights are informations, Just go into a little bit of quantum. What they say down there in 2017, the report says, true, the report says, before the dark matter or dark energy has formed itself, there must be an intelligence light, a cosmic intelligence light, because this dark matter and dark energy are informations, just informations, power, energy, both together. And they are all in subatomic particles. They are not particles as such, they are all subatomic particles. They are all light particles. Because these light particles, each light particles can communicate with each other. And where do they get the order of this communication with each other of each subatomic particles? Goes to the master. Master cosmic light, sending the purpose of its delight into each subatomic particles, commanding that purposefulness. And what are the particles which are formed? One of which is you, one of which is me, one of which is all beings. He's same, and he's sending his vibrations to us. But are we attracting the vibration into us, or we are extroverting towards limiting, not bringing the light into the material? That is our problem. We are not allowing the light into the material world. Bringing the light to every part of yourselves becomes immune to every part of that karma for the identification with all this depression which you have depressed and oppressed. They are all surviving, which you have depressed, oppressed. They are waiting for light also. And you have to bring this light to remove all these karmas also. And that event to bring his light into your body, mind, senses, and every part of your thing which you don't want that thing to be there, that event is Maha Shiva Rathri. To bring cosmic light of Shiva into every part of my body, mind, senses, materialism, material world. The material world becomes Shiva in and through. And the power is devotion. The human body, knowing the nuances of the body, mind, senses, and the sound of Namah Shivaya, the focus, Shiva Maha Prana, and you do an inward worship, an inward journey, we will make it. Let us celebrate Maha Shivaratri with this mode, with this understanding, with this devotion, with this one-pointedness. Hara Hara Shiva Shiva. Namah Shivaya. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll meet tomorrow, hopefully without glitch. Have fun. Thank you so much.